quietly in that dressing room, they'll be trying to get this tie done tonight, while they've got the advantage, while they've got the crowd behind them, really go for it, like they did with City, because they got through the City tie by the performance here.
Jurgen Klopp's putting together a side here, isn't it, at Liverpool? You know, Van Dijk seems to have made a big difference as well.
He's so impressive. Well, I don't know if the jigsaw's finished yet, but he was a massive piece that's put them towards being where they are now, because he gives them solidity at the back. Personality, the back character, but Jurgen Klopp needs so much credit for what he's done here since he's been there. He acquires players to play the way he wants to play. You know, fast players going forward, organised, they move the ball so quickly. That's why they're so difficult to play against.
Kind of manager you'd like to play for, Rio? Obviously not at Liverpool, but... Not at Liverpool, obviously, but yeah, for him as a person and the way he puts his team together, and like Frank said, he doesn't buy players that he looks good on another team. I think he's a great player. I want him in my team. He buys people that are specific to what he needs, and I think that he's building a fantastic team here. Keita's coming in the summer. I think he's got one or two pieces to add, and they're going to be a formidable team here. OK, time to get the team news then. Des Kelly has the starting lineups for us. Des?
I certainly do, and there's the prize. It looks beautiful, doesn't it? It's tantalisingly close for Liverpool as well. So let's have a look at Jurgen Klopp's selection tonight. Jordan Henderson, the Liverpool skipper, he returns in Europe after being suspended for the second leg of the Manchester City quarter-final. 5 Liverpool players were rested against West Brom at the weekend. Alexander-Arnold, Robertson, Lovren and Oxlade-Chamberlain are all restored to the starting lineup, along with Firmino. The front three are all there, including you-know-who. The only real selection question was whether Wijnaldum or Milner would start. Klopp has gone for Milner. And as for Roma, the former Manchester City defender Alexander Kolarov is in after recovering from a slight muscle injury. Another ex-City player, Dzeko, starts after being rested from Serie A duty. Florenzi, De Rossi also return, and the Czech striker Schick makes way for Under, the Turkish international winger. So there it is. I'm joined here in the delightful weather at Anfield by the Umbrella Brothers, co-commentators Glenn Hoddle and Steve McManaman. Steve, we wanted this place to be buzzing with the atmosphere there was in the City game. Is this going to dampen it? We wanted the Romans to feel like they were being thrown to the lions.
Yeah, well, as you can, well, no doubt the cameras are panned and a lot of the Roma fans are in already, trying to make an atmosphere. Liverpool fans are a little bit more quiet than they were in the quarter-final game against Manchester City, and rightly so. They're just under cover. They're probably having the last few pints of lubrication before they get out and sing their hearts out.
They'll need to stoke it up. What about Mo Salah tonight? Is he going to need a little bit of protection? Because some threats of friendly kicking happening tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it must be nice for him to face his old team, especially in this tournament in such a latter stage, because of course he's got a lot of friends there. But he's been truly professional this year. He's been an example for Liverpool. He's been incredible season, and let's see if he can keep it going just for a few more games.
The Roma side look like they're lining up as a 3-4-2-1. What does that mean to this tactical battle?
Well, I think they're trying to overload that midfield a little bit. They're going to have to look after the fullbacks of Liverpool at some stage, so they will vacate that area. But I don't care how many players are in there. If those 3 Englishmen play like they did against City...
Full English breakfast
in that midfield. They were outstanding. Milner, Henderson and Oxlade-Chamberlain. They were absolutely brilliant. And if they're anywhere like that again, then they'll cope. Yeah. Because this is a pitch that you can press really hard on this pitch with the surface as it is. It's going to be a hell of a tempo.
If they start with that same tempo, wasn't it, and the pace, and they use their speeds, they'll run through them tonight. All right.
Thanks, gentlemen. We're going to use this as a hat, trying to hide out away from the rain. Back to you, Gary.
England manager with the brolly. Happened once, didn't it? Liverpool team, no surprises there.
Not at all, and I think Milner deserves to stay in there. There was talking maybe Milner or Wijnaldum. Wijnaldum's a good player, but I think Milner's performances over the 2 legs against City, he was probably the first name on the team sheet for me.
Frank?
Brilliant. You could not play him tonight. The energy he brings to the team. And I think energy in midfield is huge. They've touched on it there, the lads. I think De Rossi, very good, 34 years of age. Strootman, they're not known for their legs. Yeah. And if they can create energy that they've been creating in midfield with those the English lads in there, then they've got a real chance.
Oxlade-Chamberlain's really emerged as a central midfield player.
Yeah, he's been fantastic since he's come in. I think Klopp's handling of him has been tremendous in the way that he's brought him in. I think Stevie mentioned it before in the Winnebago about talking about bringing him here, letting him see what the tactics are about. And what I love about him as a defender, when the opposing midfielder turns and breaks the lines and starts running at you, that creates panic. And then after that, it's about decision making. And at the moment, he's making the right decision time and time again. He receives the ball and goes direct and straight at the heart of the defence of the opposing team. And that just causes panic, and people don't know how to react when that comes to midfield. And that's a trait that's not often seen in the game at the moment.
I love how direct he is. I love his power. I love his speed. I think he's really growing in a Liverpool shirt, and what he does, he gives you a lovely blend in the middle. Henderson's your leader, Milner's the industry and the hard work, and he's that bit of class to connect the midfield to the attack.
I think midfield players, the opposite midfield players, do not want to defend. They hate it when people run beyond them. They hate when you dribble them and face them up and run past you, or they hate it when you run from midfield. He can find himself in space if he runs and arrives in the box tonight.
A young man we've talked about previously, we've been very impressed by Trent Alexander-Arnold. We've talked about his defensive aptitude, but going forward as well, he's been very impressive, really.
Yeah, and you've seen his clip series delivery is up there with the best at the moment in the way he can play the ball. He sees the ball almost as a midfielder in some of the areas he gets it, but his delivery on the run there as a young kid identifies what he needs to do, hit a certain area and put defenders under pressure, and opposing teams find it difficult defending when it's like that. He defended in that game against Sane, one of the better players in the league, one of the best young players about, unbelievably. But this is the area of his game that I think sets him apart from the England fullbacks at the moment. His delivery in the look at this ball here. This is like a Steven Gerrard ball when he's pumped over the defender. What a finish! I mean, I think he's got so many different strings to his bow that he can keep utilising and grow on and keep working. And as Stephen mentioned before in Winnebago again, he's a sponge. He wants to learn, and that's a great trait to have.
Can't be a better way to describe it. Edin Dzeko's enjoying his time in Rome. The former Manchester City striker has 20 goals to his name this season, but hopes the best is yet to come.
This year was very good for the club because we arrived in the semi-final of the Champions League, which nobody expected.
Dzeko, wow! Edin Dzeko feasted in!
When you see the group that we had, obviously everyone expected that we go out with Atletico Madrid and Chelsea, but we believed that we can go past that group. But then against Barcelona, you don't expect much.
Over the top again for Dzeko, who's in for Roma and scores!
We somehow did beat even them, so now we're in the semis, but I think we definitely deserve to be there. We know Liverpool, especially we know Mohamed Salah, who is their best player, who played last 2 years here with us, and it's such a shame that he left. I think Italy did well for him because he learned a lot here, I think, and now we can see it pays off for him. But Momo is a great player and also a great guy, and he deserves all of it. I wish him to score and to break the Premier League record with the goals, but in the semis he can rest a little bit. I spent 4.5 amazing years at City, won some trophies as well, so I'm proud of that. Obviously everyone expected City to go and try to win it in the Champions League, but what they did in the league is just not normal for the Premier League, and it will be difficult to beat City even next season. I watch all the games, all the leagues. I know almost all the players from all the leagues, you know, so I'm just like obsessed with football, and it's my life. Football is my life. Scoring goals, for me, it's something special, and when I score the goal, there's nothing that can compare to that. In semi-finals, there are no favorites. Liverpool wanted to play Roma, I'm sure of that, but I don't think it will be an easy game, not for them and not for us. Anfield, one of the most popular stadiums in the world, definitely, and we like to play also when the crowd is there close and when the atmosphere is good, so we're definitely prepared for that.
You spent a while with him at Manchester City, of course. Frank, he's a handful.
He was a great striker. It was a year that he was sort of faded out of the team slightly at the time, so he had a difficult time, but he was talking about moving, and I had no doubt when he went to Roma that he was going to be successful because he's got all the attributes. He's big, he's quick, but the most impressive thing for me is that he's finishing. He can do every type of finish. He's great in the air. We saw probably one of the goals of the Champions League there against Chelsea this season. That's why he'll be such a threat, and he's a good lad. He'll work the line, he'll do everything for the team, so top striker, their main threat obviously over these two games.
He's certainly a handful for Barcelona in the last round, that's for sure. It looks like Roma are going to play with the three at the back. Is that wise against Liverpool, or what do you think, Rio?
If the fullbacks aren't too detached from them three, if the fullbacks are within touching, or 10, 15 yards maximum to cover the gaps, and it's the wide areas. And the problem I think for Roma is Fazio and Juan Jesus is actually them wide areas when they've got to go out and face up with Salah or Mane, who are the quickest guys on the pitch. I think Fazio especially is going to struggle, and I think if I'm in the Liverpool dressing room now and the front, all I'm thinking about is getting the ball to the front three and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain joining too, and getting against that back three, because they're not quick enough, they're not mobile enough to deal with them.
In which case it would be a busy night for Alisson in goal, and he's been linked with Liverpool, of course. Looks like another expert Brazilian goalkeeper. He's keeping Ederson out of the national team, so he can't be bad.
Yeah, he must be a great goalie. I haven't really seen that much of him, Gary, but there has been a lot of speculation. But what I would say is, the Liverpool keeper Karius has settled down a lot. He's been playing really well, keeping clean sheets. But this fella does deserve, the praise that he is getting of late. He makes world-class saves. He's up quick. He makes second saves. Look at this one, top corner. That's got goal written all over it, and he claws it out. So a world-class keeper, no doubt.
Do you still think Liverpool will be chasing a goalkeeper? Because there's talk of him.
I think it depends on what happens with Simon Mignolet. If Simon wants to stay about, or whether he wants to go and get game time, because Jurgen's come out and said that Karius is the #1 and he's been doing a lot better of late. But he will want 2 top-class keepers in.
OK. It's a massive week of European football, of course, on BT Sport. We continue building up to Liverpool-Roma after the break. But tomorrow we're in Munich for the 25th meeting in Europe between Bayern and Real Madrid. We start from 7 o'clock on BT Sport 2. Arsene Wenger will hope to end his time at Arsenal with a trophy. The only one he can win is the Europa League, and we're at the Emirates on Thursday for their semi-final with Atletico Madrid. Coverage begins from 7:30 on BT Sport 2 and 4K UHD. The other semi-final between Marseille and Salzburg starts from 8 on BT Sport 3. Coming up, we'll hear from Jurgen Klopp and the skipper Jordan Henderson on what is a huge night for Liverpool Football Club.